recent graduate of Marist College, class of 2013. I was a communications major with a concentration in radio, TV, film, and interactive media. Over the past year, Marist got me into this project called The Shared Experience. My junior year, I was asked to join the Lake Placid Film Forum with Marist College. It's a team of 4 students, and there were 3 seniors on the team already. So they asked me, the lonely junior, if I wanted to go, and I said, yes, Lake Placid sounds fun, I'll do it. And what it was a 24-hour film competition. So I go up after graduation, and I was the only current student on the team at that time. And we made a short film in 24 hours, and it was a blast, and we met a lot of people. But at the next day, after the award ceremony, we went to a coffee and conversation, and all these theater owners went, and directors and everybody involved with the forum. And they were talking about the digital conversion going on in movie theaters. And you would think that a meteor was about to strike the planet. These people were stricken with fear. They didn't know what to do. And I didn't know why. So these theater owners were experiencing a huge crisis in their small industry. How do you pay for an $80,000 projector if you're just a small mom and pop movie theater that's open on the weekends? So this is when I started to understand the severity of the issue. And you saw it in media stories here and there. But I approached the MC afterwards and I said, hi, my name's Nick. I was working for NBC at the time, so I'm like, maybe I'll do an NBC piece on this. And he's like, yeah, and I took down his information. And I later approached him saying, can I do this as a capping project? Can I do a small documentary? So what I did was some small fundraising, and I decided to take the shared experience, the small capping project, to the next stage and make it into an independent documentary, just on my own, see how far I could push it. And so far I've gotten interviews with Ira Deutschman. He owns his own distribution company in New York City, and he teaches a class at Columbia. I've gotten the grandson of a Warner brother to talk, who's an independent director. I've gotten local theater owners from all around the Northeast, and I just interviewed a photographer. He just had an exhibition at the Museum of the Moving Image in Brooklyn, all about projectionists. So I've interviewed the local business side, the unnoticed story of this digital conversion and how it's affecting Main Street USA. So I'm still working on the film, but it's near completion, and I'm real excited for it. I met Pat Taylor, and I got an email from her over the summer, and it said, hey, recent graduates, is anybody still interested in a Fulbright scholarship? Not too late. So I got the email, and I could tell it was like CC to a lot of my class, and I would ask people at graduation parties, hey, are you going to go for it? Are you going to go for it? Nobody had any interest. And I'm like, you know what? I have the time now. I have a cool project, a niche. Let me see if I can expand upon it to another country. So I had the lowest grade in my Spanish class. In high school, I don't speak any other languages, so I looked at English-speaking countries. I found New Zealand. I emailed the right guy, Jeff Leland of New Zealand, and he's been to every local cinema in the country already. And he's a film professor at one of the largest universities there. He said, Nick, you have my full support if you want to go through with this. So I spent all summer and fall doing my application status. And then I waited months and months and months, found out I was a semifinalist, then waited a few more months, and then they said, hey, Nick, you got it. So now the United States is sending me to New Zealand to travel all around the country to interview local theater owners and see what they're struggling with. And I'm going to make a documentary called The Shared Experience of New Zealand while I'm down there. And then also, what I'm excited for is I'm going to be visiting 30 to 40 of these local cinemas. And while I'm there, I'm going to be doing 2-minute video profiles of each one that they can use for social media or maybe just to advertise, like, why is your theater special? Why should people come here for their business? And I'm excited about that. And I'm going to be leaving late January, coming back early Thanksgiving, right in time for Thanksgiving. And I'm pumped. I'm so excited. So we called our film The Shared Experience after we transcribed all these interviews that we did for our capping project. And we noticed that when we asked, do you think the movies will be around in the future, or movie theaters will be around in the future, all the movie theater owners said yes. And in their description was because the movie theater provides the shared experience, and that's something you can't get on your handheld device. That's something you can't get on your big screen TV, in a sense. You could go to a movie theater, and when everybody laughs together, nobody misses a joke, and you can appreciate the movie more that way. So they say that's one of the leading reasons why movie theaters will exist, because a couple years ago, people thought local movie theaters were going to go extinct. So the shared experience just seemed to work. So one of the issues I found, or one of the things I noticed throughout this film, was that it started off with the death of the local cinema, because that's where I thought it was going to go. But it's kind of taken a big U-turn, and it's turned into how have communities saved the local cinema? And Kickstarter and Indiegogo, those were huge. You can fundraise $125,000 in a month with those, and communities did. Ramsey, New Jersey did it. They saved a theater. Another concern a lot of movie theater owners had was, or is it this younger generation going to go to the movies? They have this, the older generation has this mindset that everybody's attached to their phones nonstop, and that's all this younger generation does 24/7 is just watch movies on their phones. So they're wondering, do they have a future in this business? What I found is that kids are going to the movie theater still. And I think they were just reading too many news articles saying, kids are obsessed with media, and they were getting fears in their head. But I think a lot of their fear has been resolved. Getting involved with this film was probably one of the best decisions I ever made, just because there's been so many rewarding experiences from it. One of the biggest ones was just meeting this wide variety of people, but also I'm just learning so much as a filmmaker, as somebody who went to school for radio, TV, film. I'm actually living it, and I've learned the good and the bad, but I've learned that you need patience when it comes to documentary filmmaking, and resourcefulness. Those are the two biggest assets I think you need. But I've learned so many things just from how to drive in a snowstorm. I had to do that in Lake Placid, to how to do just a 2-camera shot. How do you make a film with just 3 people, on your crew, including yourself? And I've learned how much of an asset one person can be when it comes to a film shoot. I've also learned budgeting. I've also learned organization. I've learned so many things that Marist told me about and prepped me for, and I got to take it into the real world and learn it at my own pace, which is nice. So I kind of started to treat this film like a pet project, like a hobby I was really into. And like with any hobby you pick, you're going to learn along the way. And I've learned so much in this past year that you can't even read in a book.